Hello there. So this video is about the second episode of Life is Strange 2. Second episode of it. Will be spoilers for the game, literally from the start. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it starts off with you and Daniel. So Sean and Daniel are training in the woods, and they are basically hiding out in a cabin that they found. And it's just basically Sean teaching Daniel on how to lift rocks and stuff like that. So it's from Star Wars type stuff. And so it goes on to you're just training, not much happens, it's fine, and then you go off to the cabin, still fine. I have this stuff here. Okay, yeah. So that ends. Then you start playing. You make them some dinner, and they find out that they have, after leaving the hotel in the end of the first episode, they basically went to a town, got some stuff, then left, and it's all just about how they have basically found out that Daniel has the power, and they are just trying to figure out what that is. So after you've done training, they go to the cabin, they have food, and then they're playing a board game, which I thought was a bit unnecessary. I know why they're doing it, because they're trying to get you to invest in the characters and try and have you because they're playing with dice that they've just found, and just no way of they're literally a pizza box with some with some marks in it for the game. So they've obviously not been able to find an actual game, and they're just hiding out. They're just hiding out in the cabin. Then it goes into the morning, and you're basically just packing up to go to your grandparents' house. But then it goes off, and you let the dog. Oh no! There's an interesting part of it actually. Just before you get Daniel to go to sleep, which is Sean is outside with the dog Mushroom, and he sees a rock and he tries to lift it. So trying to see if he has the power as well. Because I think he's a bit jealous that he didn't get it. However, it is in that world you happen to get it. But it's interesting because that might lead to some conflict with them at some point later on, or might not lead to anything. Maybe he does have power. Well, that'll be interesting. It turns out he's had the power. Maybe he can rewind time. Maybe he can do what Max does in the first game. So then, you wake up in the morning, you're getting ready to go, and you let the dog outside, all as well. Then Daniel goes off looking for the dog, and it turns out that the dog has been killed by a mountain lion, I think it is. Why do they have to kill the dog? They're basically doing it because they can't have you look after a dog for an entire game. But they didn't have to kill it. They could have just had you, when you go off to your grandparents, leave it there, and it's all fine. Still not nice. So yeah, once the dog's killed, you can either there are two options. You can either step in to make sure that Daniel doesn't kill the mountain lion. And if you do that, that means that you make it so that you teach Daniel that it's not good to seek revenge, and you can't, no matter what, take vengeance on creatures. But then the mountain lion takes Mushroom, the dog's body, and Daniel's obviously upset about it. So they end up burying, basically digging up dirt, putting down a cross, saying some words on the funeral, and then they move on to their grandparents' house, a 2-day walk, and you don't experience any of it. It's literally a montage of them walking on roads and dirt paths and stuff like that, and camping. So once that happens, you knock on the door of your grandparents' house and they initially don't answer, just thinking it's probably a salesman or something like that. And when they answer, they realise that it's them, and obviously the police have been in touch with them. They don't report you or anything like that. And it's sort of, Daniel's sick, he's got a cough, which obviously isn't too big a deal if you're kept inside and warm, but if you're on the run in the woods, in the cold, in winter, around snow, that obviously isn't all good. So you finally get there, and his cough just magically goes away. Nothing, just gone. It's not. I know. It's just sort of like they can't have him with a bit of a cough for the entire game until because you stay there a month. The amount of time that you stay there is basically a month. No, not a month. They're a month on the road. Yeah, no, they stay there a week that you play, so it could have cleared up. But yeah, no, it basically Daniel's gone off to bed, and you are left alone in this dining room with some coffee. Then your grandparents come in and ask you what happened, and you basically explain to them that your dad was shot by a cop, and then this explosion happened, which we also know is Daniel's powers coming out, like showing, which then turns into them deciding whether they help you or not. And it's actually quite interesting that they don't. I swear, adults in this aren't that responsible, because this is just me. I'm not obviously a parent or anything like that. So, but imagine if I one day accidentally caused something, then they'd say you should call the police and like sort it out. But Sean's just like, no, they'll separate us. It's not happening. So if you're not going to help us, then we'll leave. So they do end up helping you, and you stay there a week. But there's a little conversation that Daniel and Sean have while they are getting ready to go to bed. But the grandma comes in, and they actually say a bit of a prayer because the grandma was religious. And it turns out that you don't. It turns out that you just want everything to. You're wondering what this is happening. So you ask Daniel. Sean asks Daniel what this is and how he can do what he does, and it just sort of says, "Yeah, no, I don't know how this happens. It just happens. I concentrate moving, and move." Which I think it's him trying to figure out. Figure out if he can do it, because I think he wants to be able to have this power, and he can best protect Daniel. But then it ends up with them waking up a week later, and them going outside to play, and then they go outside. Before they go outside, it starts with your grandma going out for a bit, but you going to see your grandpa, and it turns out that he's seen Daniel move things with his mind and stuff like that. And you have you have two options. One, you can either tell your granddad the truth, in that you say, yeah, he has powers, we don't know what's going on, but he has powers. Or you can hide the truth from him and make him think that it's just Daniel pretending somehow. I chose to tell him the truth because with these games it seems that they seem to value, if you tell the truth then it will work out. Because it worked out in the first part with your dad. He told him the truth and he gives you more money. If you lie to him, then he gives you less money at the start. So basically, it's good. It's just the fact is that it drags on a lot. Like, makes you do things that you don't think are necessary. Like, I don't think are necessary. But it's still good. But there's a lot in it. 3 hours. Which basically is basically how long it is. 3 hours on. 3-4 hours. And it just, the fact is that it's a good game, but I feel like more should have happened at the end of the day, because I got to the ending and I got a good ending. So Chris. So Chris is, if you played a game before Life is Strange 2 came out called Captain Spirit, Chris is the main kid in that, and it's basically this kid, he doesn't think he has superpowers, he's pretending he has superpowers and stuff like that. So it goes on to say, but then they have his dad and him have an argument. He runs outside and he ends up climbing up a tree, but he falls, and Daniel decides that he's going to catch him with his powers, which I chose to say, yeah, you did the right thing. Sean to say, yeah, you did the right thing, but you have to be more careful, basically. And that makes him Chris think that he has the powers instead of Daniel, which I think leads on. I haven't checked this, but I think it leads on to, if you keep the lie up, that it leads to Chris eventually, in the end, getting injured, because it ends with basically with the police being spotted. They basically went to the Christmas market with Chris and his dad to find out if. Right, I need to backtrack. I've gone way out of track. After Chris falls, a day passes, and Daniel's gone over to Chris's house, and Daniel's making Chris think he has the powers. Which, again, if he keeps up that lie, then I think that Chris gets hurt. I think that's how it goes. But then you get Chris and his dad basically go into town to get a Christmas tree and pick up the tree, but then you meet this person in town, which I think this person's quite interesting, because they have like dreadlocks and stuff like that. This person has dreadlocks, and this might just be a nod. This might not go anywhere. This might just be one. I don't think it's a one-time thing, because there's a little teaser at the end of the thing with this person in it. But this might just be a bit of a nod saying, yeah, this person is supposed to remind you of her. But I think that there's a person that you meet called Cassie. I think it's Cassie or Cassidy. I think it's Cassidy, actually. And this person looks very much like Chloe from the first game, and it's. You know that it technically can't be, because Max isn't there. But she says she has friends, so maybe Max turns up. And again, basically this is just me wanting Max and Chloe to turn up, because I chose to save them, to save Chloe in the original game. So this means that in my canon of the game, Chloe and Max are around somewhere. And this is it. It's the same coast. It's the west coast, I believe, of America that they are around, and it's about 3 years from the first game, and they have actually got a comic of following Max and Chloe after Arcadia Bay is destroyed. And there's actually a nice little thing basically Sean keeps a journal throughout the game, and there's this part where you stop in the first episode of the game where you stop off at Arcadia Bay. Now if you chose to save Arcadia Bay, then it's a nice thriving little town. If you chose to save Chloe, then it's a decimated town with like a plaque saying everyone remembers Arcadia Bay, that sort of thing. And there's a thing in it that says tornado in Sean's diary, in Sean's journal, that says tornadoes suck, and I think it's just sort of like them saying, yeah, screw you for choosing to let her live. But basically, this is just me saying that I think Cassidy is Chloe pretending to be someone else, like hiding out, maybe hiding from Max or someone else, I don't know. But yeah, I think it was alright. It's just the fact is that at the end, there's a room in the house that the grandparents are at, and that's your mother's room. But you find out throughout the game that that Sean and Daniel's mother left them at the end, and I think it's Daniel doesn't remember them, so it's probably around 11, so about 10, 11 years ago that she left. And there's a room there that has all of her stuff in, but there's also a letter which you find it because you basically get into that room. You can either choose to break in with Daniel's powers or find the key. I found the key because I thought that would be less obvious. There's still loads of stuff moved around, and your grandparents find you, but you find this letter before you do, which is basically a letter sent from the mother saying that she heard what happened with Daniel, with Sean and Daniel, and it says that if you want to fight, please help my boys if they come to you, which they do, to be fair. But instead of saying, yeah, find me at this address if you hear from them or anything like that, no, it's just a PO box which she set up so if in case she gets any news, which Sean thinks is a cop out, but Daniel sees it as a little kid was trying to, it's his mum trying to reach out to them. But no, at the end, basically I thought it was a good game. Final thoughts, this is me, final thoughts, because I could talk about this all day. I think it was a good game, but I think it works better as it will work better as a like box set, basically, best way I can say it, as like this, you play this episode, then this one, then this one, then this one, because I'm not sure when there's no release date for the third episode as far as I can tell at this point in time, at the time of recording. Oh, I've never said that before, first time saying that. But yeah, so it's basically, it's a good game, but I just think that it's a bit lackluster, because if you get the bad ending, then I'm sure it seems a bit more action-packed and adventurous. But I just think that it's a bit more quiet than the other episodes, if that makes sense. I don't think it will be the rest of it, but I think it's just that it's not that assuring. It's not very exciting at the end of the day. That's just my opinion. I'm sure other people will have another opinion. Like, some great people to get their opinion from are people at Outside Extra and Outside Xbox. They are very good YouTubers. There are two of them there that are called Luke and Jane. I subscribe to them myself. They have great videos, do lists and stuff like that. And they will no doubt at some point make their own thoughts and videos, their own thoughts and theories and stuff like that. Probably a lot better, definitely a lot better structured than this. But yeah, I think it's a good game, but just not that exciting at the end of the day. I just don't think it would. I bet it will get more exciting, because I do like Life is Strange. I think it was a good episode, just not as exciting as I would have thought. But that's just my opinion. If you want to leave your own opinions, then let me know. At the moment I have one subscriber. To that one subscriber, thank you. I didn't really expect it. This is my first day of ever making videos. I didn't expect anyone to subscribe at all. So yeah, cheers for that. But yeah, leave your thoughts. Again, first time doing this, down below, and let me know what you think.